Let's talk about arrays. So what is an array? An array is basically a table that can contain multiple values based on the size or the dimension of that array. So for instance, if you look here, we have a table which dimension is actually 4. Now the fourth number had not appeared yet, it's an animation. Okay, it can contain 5 values basically, so the dimension is 5, excuse me, but it is indexed from 0 to 4, because if you count from 0 to 4, it counts 5. So it has 5 placements or 5 places for storage values. So for instance, if you look here at 0, index 0, which is always the first index in the table, you have the value that is stored is 60. So 0 is only the position of the cursor, so to speak, the position of the pointer that is pointing to that value. At 1 you have 125, so 1 is not the value, 1 is actually the location, the address of the value, and the actual value is 125. So when we say like variable called x, x is not the value, x is the name of the variable, and the value would be what is contained on the inside of it. Alright, so here at position 2, which is the third position, is 73, the value is 73, and so on and so forth. Okay, and here is the position at 4, which is the fifth. Okay, but the index value is 4, the index number is 4, and the value stored is 19. Let's give an example on how to work with these arrays. In order to declare an array, I type simply declare -a, and then r, we will call it r, equal, and 2 empty parentheses, which mean it is an empty array. I will prompt the user to give me a value of the dimension or the size of the array. So echo, enter the size of the array, then read size. So this is what we're going to do. Here the echo just to break the line, to give an empty line between the input and the results. So here I will use the for loop in order to access the array, and for each value, I will count from 0 all the way up to the size given by the user, and for each value I'm gonna store it inside the array. Now the array will expand as we fetch in the values, by the way. Again, as we mentioned before, if I have an array whose size is 4, actually the values of the index would be 0, 1, 2, and 3. So I will never get to 4, because from 0 to 3 you have 4 values, which is the size 4 for an array. The same way, let's say you have an array whose size is 7, for instance. Okay, for size 7, the array would be indexed from 0 all the way to 6, but it will never reach 7, because if you count from 0 to 6, you will get 7 values, which is size 7. In the same way, for the for loop, I will loop from 0 all the way up to just exactly the value before the size, and then break from it. So if the size is 5, I will loop from 0 to 4, and at 4 I need to break from the loop. So this is what I mean. For I equals 0, I less, so as long as the I variable is less than the size, you see, it will never reach the size. So I should not place I less than or equal to, because from 0 to the value exactly less than the size, this is the size of the array. Then I plus plus, I will increment the index, do done. So inside the for loop, here is what we're gonna do. I will increment, or actually I will append the array. So I will get the array from here, r plus equal, and I will append it by the value of I. Now here, pay attention not to mix up the concepts. We're not like appending the value of the array. The array is not actually a variable. We're simply inserting a new element inside the table. So to get back to the example we had before, when I append, so the first time I will add at index 0 the value 60, let's say, in here in this presentation. Then when I run the R or array plus equal I again, of course I is different, I is the value of the index, but when you run it again, you will be adding another value to the next index. Of course, in the case of I, it won't be 125. In the case of I, meaning the example that we're actually practicing, what we're gonna have is 0 added to the 0 index, 1 added to the first or to the ones index, 2 to the third index, which is at position 2, so on and so forth. Alright? So what we're gonna have again is adding or inserting one value after the other in the array, inside the array. Then okay, here are important concepts. So how to display the size of the array. In order to display the size that we obtained by inserting different values, we type size of the array, and here is the key point. You type $, then you open two braces, alright, and inside the two braces I need to type the hash. The hash means the number. It's a numerical value. It will give us the size of the array. And then inside the two braces of the array, I will type the ampersand. The ampersand symbol means all the elements inside of the array. Okay, all the elements inside of the array give me their number. Give me their number, meaning the size or the dimension of that array based on all the values inserted or lodging within that array. Next, now, to give you instead all the elements inside of the array, if I want them displayed, I type echo elements of the array and then $. It's a little bit similar, and here's the trick. So instead of inserting the hash symbol, here in such case we don't need the hash symbol. Here I'm telling him not to give me the size of the array but all the elements. So this is the main difference. You don't insert the hash symbol before the array variable. Also, I need, let's say for instance, I want to see what is in or extract the value at the first index. So I simply type echo first element of the array, of course, is $. We open up the braces and we simply type R. We open the two brackets. By the way, these square shaped are brackets, not braces. So we open them up and we simply tap 0, and he will give me the very first value inside that table. Now, to get the third element, I type echo third element is and $. We open the braces and array. We open the two brackets, 2. Give me the array at position 2, which is the third position, because 0, 1, 2, right? Of course, this will run successfully given that the size is at least 3 elements, right? To get to the 2. Otherwise, he will give me an error. So let's save bash intro.sh. Enter the size of the array. Let's say the size is 5. And you see the size of the array is equal to 5. The elements are the following: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. First element is 0 because he's accessing the first index. It is 0 over here. And third element is 2. Alright?